Yo guys, Jens here, and today I'm gonna talk about the Asmongold Invitational. And yeah, I'm super excited for TBC, and Asmongold Invitational actually made me more excited for it. Not gonna lie, it was the most fun tournament I've watched since Wrath of the Lich King, and yeah, that pretty much sums my feelings towards the tournament. Um, First, I'm gonna talk about the format though. The draft system was really fun for a TBC beta. Obviously, it's not a thing that you should do for competitive tournament play because people want to practice the comps, and watching a well practiced comp, it's a bit different than watching a YOLO kind of comp. The TBC, it's also new for a lot of those players that even if they played back in the day, maybe they didn't play the comp that they played, like Hydra. I think it was mostly playing back in the day double healer hunter, and Mage Lock Priest wasn't really a very competitive comp. I don't remember seeing one ever in competitive tournaments, but they won because Hydra is just insane, and it seemed like it was getting better the more games he did, and because Riva was actually a really good player. I wasn't expecting him to be as good. Obviously, in one or two of the games they won because of the Frost Nova bug against Mir. Mir was stuck in a Nova for I don't know, a lot of lances, like 5 lances. But overall, the format was very interesting to play. I think it was a bit flawed because you had a very different pool of players. You had really good retail players that are now playing classic, but they are still not very experienced with the TBC. You had private server players that have been playing the private server scene for 4 to 6 years, and you had unknown players like the Shaman and the Lazonte guy, the Shadow Priest, which in my opinion were the worst players in the tournament. Now, said that, um, I think the draft system was fun to watch, but yeah, obviously in the competitive scene, it's not really a thing. I hope. Um, Also, I want to talk about the casting. I think the casting was amazing from Rich and from Asvand. I think Asmongold showed a little bit of flaws in terms of casting, um, because, for example, he talked about Warlocks having Piercing Howl. Obviously, it's Hall of Terror, and the icon is the same, so it's kind of a normal mistake. And this casting was a bit shady at some times, but it was really fun to watch overall in terms of casting. I think they all did an amazing job. I think interviewing players, and this is one of the things that allows you to actually make it to the format, which are the interviews. I think it's very interesting to see the player thoughts after a game or after a series. And you can only do that if the games are not 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 10 minutes like it is on retail. And that's the next thing I'm gonna talk, pacing. Like I've said, TBC pacing, it's insane in trees. It's not the same in twos, and since tournaments are played in 3v3 settings, it makes more enjoyable to watch. Having mana as a resource is way better because it means you are kind of on a timer. You can't just play the game forever like you can in retail, so that allows you to be more aggressive. That forces you, it not allows you, it forces you to be more aggressive. If you're a shutter play and you Venrook is an amazing guy, I must say. Like he took the L's like a true BlizzCon champion. He was one of the best players in the tournament in my opinion, but he just had two players that are not very good. But regardless, they still took a win. And but yeah, he's just an amazing guy, and I'm talking about this because Shatterplate's a very aggressive comp. He knew it, and he knew he had to push, but his players, yeah, his teammates didn't really know that, so they lost mostly on mana, and this goes to show that TBC is just a better game. Sorry guys, if you like retail, TBC is just a better game because that team on retail could actually maybe maybe win more games because you don't have mana as a resource, allowing you to go further into dampening and allowing you to win more games. Their Van Rookie was just amazing in the game they won. Van Rookie completely destroyed. I think it was Bean, and yeah, it was just amazing to watch. Also shows the tournament shows that the private server scene is not as strong as people think, because Mir and Klimp, Mir it's really good, nothing to say, but Klimp, which is seen as one of the best warlocks, and maybe it's a little bit of class envy for me, but he is a multi-rank 1 private server lock. They were playing the best overall comp, Roguelock Priest, and they lost, which goes to show that the comps that maybe people think are the best in the private server scene, it's maybe because the private server players are not the best. Um, like a roguelock priest, it's a very aggressive, just dot everything after blind type of comp, and just win with the purges, with spam dispel. That's how you play the comp, which is very low in terms of skill ceiling, which means that allows players that are not as good to play it and succeed. But if you face a comp like Mage Lock Priest, which is a very high skill ceiling comp, and you face better players, you just lose. And I think Klimp, Chaz, and Mir didn't win because of Klimp. One of the multi-rank 1 warlocks was getting kind of owned every single game, and it was kind of interesting to watch those games. Mir carried the team a lot in those games. If they didn't win, it's not because of Mir, and Chas played extremely well, in my opinion. The more he plays, the more knowledge he gets, the better he gets, and you could see that throughout the tournament. You could see some of the players just improving and improving game after game, like Hydra and Chaz. Uh, Not much more to say. I think I'm gonna talk about the viewership, and I do know that Asmongold brings at least 18 to 20k viewers, regardless of what he does in World of Warcraft. But seeing a constant 50k viewer player base, the viewership, I mean, just watching the game, it tells me that people were enjoying the tournament, because else they would just leave. If you see AWC, they always start with 15k, 17k these days. They started the first tournaments with 50k, then the second tournament was like 40, then 30, and now it's on the 10ks, because people just don't enjoy watching dampening games. They want fast-paced and easy to read games, and this is where I think if they had like Zico, for example, casting would actually have been amazing, or someone else like a player that usually casts. For example, Van Rookie, if he wasn't really a player in the tournament and he was casting, it would be super hyped because they know exactly what's happening at each point of the game. But even with the lack of knowledge, I think the casters did an amazing job. Really amazing job. Rich, it's always a good caster in between games. You just missed a really good caster in game like Supatis or Van Rookie or Zico to hype up the thing, because they were sometimes they were talking and the players just died and they're like, oh, there you go, you win. And but even with that, it was super hype to watch the games themselves, because you know what's happening. And that's another thing that I think TBC it's better than retail, and Wrath of the Lich King also it's better than retail, which is it's always something happening. There's no moments where, oh, okay, I can just go smoke a cigarette and I will come back and they're doing the same thing, because the damage is sustained. It's high sustained damage. There's moments of burst if you're a frost mage with shatters. There's moments of burst, but 90% of the game is just something is happening, and what's happening, what you're pressing, it's actually fucking meaningful. Imagine. And that is way easier to read as a viewer. Like, if I'm a viewer and I'm a 1400 player and I'm watching a TBC tournament, and on my second monitor I'm watching a Shadowlands tournament. On the TBC tournament, I know exactly what's happening because a rogue or a warrior, which we unfortunately didn't have, but a rogue or a warrior on a caster having 100% uptime, we can see the bars going down, the HP going down, and same with the caster versus caster. A mage is casting Frostbolt or Ice Lance into a Nova, and you see the other guy HP going down. If I'm watching Shadowlands, I can't see anything, and then all of a sudden someone goes to 30%, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? Oh, it's combust, okay. And this is the big difference. It's very telegraphic. What happens in TBC, it's very viewer friendly. And it's the same in Wrath of the Lich King, by the way, guys, because you don't have as many cooldowns, which means whatever you're watching, it means that something. And contrary to Shadowlands or any expansion after Wrath of the Lich King, really, it only matters if someone's health bar is like glowing, because it means they have an offensive cooldown, and that brings the viewer experience down, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm super hyped. I'm just hyped. This tournament was amazing. I hope we see a lot more tournaments, because this tournament was simply fucking amazing. Was the best tournament I've seen since Wrath of the Lich King. And I hope that Blizzard actually allows OTK to host more tournaments without the draft system and with actually really good casters. I think keeping, for example, Reach, I would keep Reach as in between game guy caster. I would keep Esvand as interviewer. I think he did actually pretty well in the interviews, and I think having the interviews it's actually a really good thing. And Asmongold could be also in between, but then you need to have at least one or two casters in game that actually know the mechanics of the game and explain that while the game is up. But yeah, it's just an amazing tournament. It's an amazing expansion. I think this actually created more hype. You would see the chat just saying TBC hype. This is so fucking good. I didn't knew like I saw some comments saying, "Oh my god, TBC it's actually amazing to watch." And I completely agree with that. And obviously there's a lot of RNG, but like you saw in the tournament, the RNG it's not what decides the games. Like I think some games were decided by Icelands. Whenever you saw like a mage doing insane amount of damage, it's because they got lucky with the Frost Nova not breaking, and that's a bug, obviously. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the Asmongold Invitational as much as I did. If you didn't watch, go to Asmongold stream and watch the VOD. I promise you, it will be the most fun tournament you've watched if you never watched any tournament before Kata. And it kind of reminds me why I felt in love with PvP and why I felt in love for 3v3 tournaments, because I used to watch all of them, even when I wasn't playing, by the way. But yeah, it's just amazing. It was just amazing, and I hope there's more. Like Hydra said, it was the most fun tournament since Wrath of the Lich King. That's it. And I hope Blizzard grabs this fucking cash cow and actually for they have a second chance to actually make WoW esports a really big thing, and it's not on retail for sure. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and like the video if you liked it, and go watch the fucking tournament, guys. Trust me. Peace.